I read that at least now they're talking about having half of the money in the fund go directly to rural hospitals, and then the other half being administered by CMS and given to designated hospitals. And I would say, by the way, that's not designated rural hospitals, it's designated hospitals, which is not what this started to be. Um, so a couple of things that raises for me. This are they calling it the Rural Hospital Bailout Fund? Because that's probably what it should be. At least it would make it clearer who it's for. Um, for one thing, they need to be clear about who it is for, right? And some of the some members of the Senate have already, begun expanding what it's all about. Um, I think it suddenly went from rural hospitals to, this is Senator Collins, to a fund for rural hospitals, nursing homes, and community health centers. And so, if that really were to pass, we'd see a rush by all kinds of entities to become designated as one of those three or four things. Um, this is like putting a sugar bowl out near an anthill. Um, it's it's disappointing the way predictable way organizations react to this sort of thing. Anyway, your question was concerns about the administration of this kind of fund. I think the very first thing that needs to be attached to this fund, and I recognize I'm not an advocate for pushing rural hospitals, off the cliff. That is the last thing that I would want to see. In fact, I think it's a shame and it's shameful the way Congress has ignored the 60 million people who live in areas that are designated as rural, and Congress has largely, sat back and watched, or maybe watched the football game as these hospitals have struggled. I know that a third of them are designated as in financial trouble and not sustainable. And the rest, the other two-thirds aren't doing all that well either. There are a lot of reasons why that is so, and part of it is they've been ignored by Congress. And there is no strategic plan uh, regarding rural hospitals and how they should be deploying their capabilities. That's one thing that's really missing from this picture.